Hey, my name's Annie Rubio, and this is my senior project about art! Or more specifically, my artistic / creative process, I guess, is a better way to put it. The most common question I get asked as an artist whenever people see my work, either when I'm working on it or when I've finished it, is this. How did you even make this? What do you do? How do you do this? I never knew what to say. I didn't know how to respond to that kind of a question until now! So prepare to be immersed in my wonderfully chaotic and creative mind. Let's get started, shall we? There are 2 specific steps in my process. You have inspiration and you have creation. That's basically how I kind of divide it up. Inspiration's a bit difficult to explain, but here we go. Inspiration can come from literally anywhere. You can see it in nature, you've got music, literature. A good idea can even occur when you're talking with someone. You could be talking about food for who knows what reason, and all of a sudden you're like, I could do this for a painting. It just kind of happens. Just a heads up, it's really nice if the artist is around to explain their inspiration to you. Even then they might not even know. Half the time I don't even know where I get my ideas from, okay? Take Dolly for instance. What is going on here? No one exactly knows. Now, just as a side note, Salvador Dali was a surrealist painter. Basically, he was inspired by his dreams and he painted those dreamlike scenes on his canvases. Also, having an idea doesn't make it concrete in the slightest way. The final product might be entirely different from what your initial thoughts were. Something to help you organize your thoughts is a swipe file. It's basically a collection of photos to help you visualize the subjects in your painting. This way, when your piece does start to change, you'll have these pictures to go back to and you can look at and take references from them. So after all that, hopefully you understood what I was trying to say. We're ready to start painting! Haha! Just kidding. We're gonna need to do some planning first. Now, before I get started actually painting, I sketch out my ideas several times. Each one gets a little more detailed. And I make notes of what to improve or change in them. Elements and principles in art, but personally, I believe that the most important one for beginners or advanced is value. Value is the varying degrees of lightness or darkness in a drawing. Basically, it's the highlights and shadows you can see on an object. Value is so often overlooked with beginners, but it can elevate their drawing so much. It is literally the difference between stick figures and masterpieces, okay? I'm not joking here. And it's no different with color. Value is still there. Speaking of color, if you ever have to specially mix any colors, always save them. It's so much easier to just go back and make slight variations to one saved color than to try and completely match the tone again, especially with this large canvas. Now let's start putting paint on that canvas. As a general rule of thumb, I usually try to paint my backgrounds first. It's a lot easier to paint over something than to try and go around little details later on. it usually takes me about a week or longer to finish a painting. I have a very detail-oriented process when I paint. Okay, I'm an OCD perfectionist. I'm not ashamed. So here's a common range of brushes for any given artist. The different handle length and bristle size. Here's some larger brushes, and here are some angled ones even, down to the really tiny ones that you can barely even see. This usually wouldn't be a problem, but for me personally, about 90% of my paintings are done with these tiny brushes right here. So luckily for you, or maybe it's unluckily for me, I branched out to larger brush sizes for this project. When I approach any painting, I'm always thinking about the values. Remember that little buzzword? I usually start out by laying out a middle value or a mid-tone and slowly branch out from there, adding slightly darker, slightly lighter tones until I reach a combination that I'm happy with. It's like this. Oh, darn it. It's like this, okay? Take this object, for instance. It's an orange. It's an orange fruit, getting darker with the shadows, getting wider with the highlights. So it makes sense to start out with the base color and then add the shadows and the highlights afterwards. I see most objects following this principle. There are a few exceptions, however. That's all. I know this seems very complicated and even discouraging at times, but this leads me to my next point. Be patient. This is much easier said than done. I understand that. I got lucky because a lot of my first projects in high school required a lot of patience from me. So trust me when I say it is possible to learn to be patient. Because I couldn't rush a lot of my earlier works, now I'm able to do a lot of detail in my newer pieces. So yeah, just be patient. There's no prize for finishing the fastest on a project. I mean, unless you have a deadline or something. In all seriousness, pay attention to the small things. The highlights, the shadows, the small variations in color. It really does pay off in the end. That was a long-winded but nonetheless extremely important point. Track with me now, we're almost done. Now I have one final tip for you guys. Is it a tip or qualifier? Disclaimer? Disclaimer. That's the word. Do not think that being a great artist is impossible, okay? Anyone can pick up art at any time in their lives. The key is to practice, practice, practice. Art is just like any other skill or sport. You need to practice in order to retain your progress and continue your growth. Don't give up. I've been practicing art my whole life and I'm just barely seeing results right now. You can't get discouraged in the beginning just because you think your art isn't good. Don't discredit yourself just because you're comparing yourself to others. That's not the right way to judge your improvement. Trust me, some of the most famous artists were looked down upon. They were ridiculed for their art because it wasn't a normal style. It's just not fair to put your first drawing up against the Sistine Chapel. So I hope this helped you to understand my artistic process and my creative thinking. And I sincerely hope some of you think about pursuing art later on. And I'm not just saying that because I love art. I'm saying that because I do believe everyone should try art in some form. You really will see a difference in how you think and how you just look at life. It's a wonderful thing. Thanks everyone. Bye. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold the phone, stop the presses. Kind of forgot that there's a painting you guys haven't seen finished yet. I'm explaining my creative process and I didn't finish the process. Yeah. Oopsie. Okay, so here's the rest of my painting, you guys. I really hope you like it and enjoyed this video. Bye!
If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. Will always love you. My darling, you. Bittersweet memories, that is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye, please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need to know. And I will always love you. I will always love my darling, oh yes you are, yeah. I will always, 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 always love you, yeah. I hope life treats you kind. And I hope you have all you've dreamed of. And I wish to you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish to you love.
Okay, the time is 2:50 on Monday, May 18th, and I have officially finished. Yay! This is the most important part.
You